Hello everyone, welcome to a video on installing a CAE shifter on my 2007 STI. Yeah, we're going to unbox the shifter and hopefully install it all in one video, and I'll take you guys with me and walk you guys through it. Maybe you guys are going to be doing the same thing, and yeah. So here it is, guys. Here's the box. Everything that comes with the shifter. We've got a little package with, I believe, some instructions, jet tag, and I think just some hardware to install the shifter. We'll get into that a little bit later. We've got I believe in here is the shift knob. I decided to go with just the regular black shift knob. Nothing too fancy, I don't think. Put that to the side, and then obviously the shifter. Now the shifter, I just decided to stick with the non-anodized version, just the raw aluminum. Or I guess it would be. Would this be billet? I don't know, guys. Anyways, went with the shifter. Super excited to actually get this in the car and see how it works. And then I believe the last thing in the package is just the shift lever, or the shift rod, I guess they call it. So with the CAE shifters, you can get either the race version or the street version. I went with the street version because with this section right here, it allows you to retain the OEM or factory STI center console. You don't have to do any cutting or anything. Whereas the race version, it doesn't have this little 45. It just connects right here instead. So you actually have to cut the bezel around the shifter to fit it. I'm not quite sure the pros or cons of the race versus the street series. I don't know if it really gives you any more advantage or any pros. But yeah, my main concern was just retaining the OEM shift bezel. I really would like to not cut that up, especially on a car like an 07 STI, where they're getting more and more hard to find. Yeah. All right, guys, we are in the car now. So, from reading the instructions, I think the instructions are actually pretty straightforward. There's not a whole bunch to installing this thing. I think the hardest part is really just getting the OEM shifter out. So I believe first step would be to get rid of the on top pieces. So get rid of the center console, and then you can get into the rubber boot underneath that is a little bit, I think it serves as a sound deadening and dust guard, I guess. It's just the only thing really between the shifter cabin and the underneath of the car. So yeah, we'll get this removed, and I'll check back in with you guys when I got the upper portion taken off. All right, now that we got the upper bezel and the boot off and whatever else, now, from what I understand, we'll just start disassembling the top portion here of the shifter itself. So we got nut and bolt here that links to the bushing underneath. And then I believe we have to remove 4 bolts here, or 2 bolts here, 2 bolts up here, to get the actual boot portion off. And yeah, that's really the only thing I think up here. The rest will be underneath with the whole linkage and the reverse lockout and everything else. So stand by, we'll get the top portion pulled off. All right, folks, a little update. Doesn't look like much has happened, but I actually ended up deciding to take the whole center console out. Just makes it easier. There's a bar that went across here. It makes it easier to just finagle this thing out of here, have more room to move this rubber seal around, and this metal frame, which actually sat on top, kind of like that. So yeah, now that's out of the way. Now we're gonna actually go underneath the car and start working on getting everything taken apart underneath. So I'll set you guys up and we'll get this thing in the air. All right, guys, so we're underneath the car now. You've got your shifter linkage here. This is where it goes through to the cabin. First thing I did is I just took these two bolts out, one on either side. You can't really see the other one, but one on either side. That's just that rear bushing. And then next I will be working on, sorry, it's kind of hard to film underneath the car here since it's so low, but how do I get this? This guy right here, that is to the shift fork, I believe, of the transmission. So we'll be taking those bolts out, and this line, line right here, that's your reverse lockout. We'll be taking the pin out of that and locking it out completely. Or no, sorry, I was mistaken. This isn't to your shift fork. The upper linkage is right above it. Taking that out, taking this out, which is just another bushing, and then the wire as well. That's the reverse lockout. So yeah, work on that, and if I encounter anything special, I'll let you guys know along the way. All right, everyone, we got the shifter all out. It was a little bit of a struggle. If I would have used my head and thought a little bit proactively, I would have taken out a mount in order to punch the roll pins out of this thing. So one of the more difficult things is getting these roll pins out of the shifter linkage here. That's what goes directly to the transmission, or it goes directly to the rod in the transmission to select your gears. These roll pins go through the holes here like this. There's two of them, one inside the other. So what I found helped is this mount sits right on the back of the transmission, and that's what one of this mount on the shifter hooks into. Take all your bushings and whatnot out, and then take this out, and then you can actually get a straight shot at these roll pins instead of having your screwdriver at an angle. That don't work. But yeah, so anyways, I had a pile of tools to try and get this all out, but it's my first time taking all this stuff out, so a little bit of a learning curve for myself. But yeah, now we got everything out. We will carry on and now install what we were trying to install before. Hello, everyone. It is day 2. Ran out of daylight previous time I was working on this. So we're picking it up for a little bit today. I don't know if I'll necessarily get it done, but yeah, the video will be seamless, but I'll give you a rundown of what I'm going to do. There is there's a linkage, one of the linkages that goes from the shifter to the transmission, or the bushing. You have to install the CAE, you have to pull this linkage out of this boot. But you know, this car's from 2007. I don't really feel like yanking this out. There's really no good way that it comes out. I don't really feel like pulling this rubber apart and breaking it. So actually what I did is I got my grinder out. I'm actually just going to grind this off so it just can come out in 2 pieces. I'm not going to use it again. You don't reuse this piece. And I don't foresee myself having to swap back to the stock shifter. If I do, then so be it. I'll order a new one. I just don't feel like ordering a rubber boot right now. So yeah, we'll just do that. So I'll set you guys up over here, and we'll get this grinded up. probably put safety glasses on. I don't have any, so safety glasses are on. Oh. Blink. Nice. Alright, sorry for the little bit noise. It is pretty gusty out here today. But anyways, carrying on, now that we got that OEM linkage out, there's two holes that we have to block off with the CAE shifter because we don't use them anymore. It's this reverse lockout cable hole and the main hole where your shifter would go into like a ball joint kind of deal. So we got to block those off, and those are supplied in the CAE little parts bag you get. So we'll do that. Alright guys, so we taking a little bit of a break from filming. I just kind of wanted to get some stuff done on the car and just blast through it. But I'll kind of show you guys what I got going on underneath the car. If we zip under here, I don't know if we'll be able to really see it all too well, but I got the reverse lockout done. So that would be right where this metal's gonna point, right here, this guy. That's a reverse lockout. Usually this outer piece would be pointing towards the front of the car, so this way. And since we removed, or we don't need the reverse lockout anymore, there's just a little tab with two screws on it. There's actually a hole in the transmission already there, so we can just screw this screw in and permanently pull this reverse lockout out. So it's actually engaging your theoretically be able to put it in reverse, but the CAE shifter has its own reverse lockout mechanism on the shifter. So that's why we just need to have this deleted, let's say. Delete the OEM reverse lockout. If we come up into the car, I've got the shifter sitting in the car right now. I might actually take the shift rod out again, just so I can grease this. I was reading the instructions, you're actually supposed to, put some grease between the bushing and the rod. So I might take that out and do that. But I might do that. And then I'll just secure the base plate down with the 4 screws that CAE provides. And then I actually have to align the shifter. I have to, there's a little nut on the back here, the centering nut, I guess you would call it, and center the shifter so that it can go into the 1-2 column, the 3-4 column, and the 5-6 column. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to check back in with you guys after I get that figured out. Okay guys, so we got the shifter fully installed. We got the 4 bolts on each side. One thing to note is that that metal frame that would be on the OEM shifter is no longer used because obviously of the base plate here. That is the new frame for that, I believe. But yeah, anyways, so now that we got it installed, I believe the next step would be to adjust the throw or the columns, I guess. So based on the instructions, what I'm reading is you actually want to first, the centering spring is right here, and there's a little Allen key for this block on the other side. You can kind of see it if I try and get my camera there. Maybe be able to see it there. Anyways, you loosen that, and you want to select either the third or fourth gear, which is the middle range, obviously. So now that's third, and then you want to tighten this back up, and that's just to keep it centered. It's not like just to keep it centered, so it's not like your third, fourth range is like kind of out of line, and then you'll find it hard to shift into third and fourth. The next step is the set screws here on either side. There's two on that side, and where is it? One right there. This guy here. So first you want to go into the first and second column. So you can tell already that mine Sorry, you can tell that mine goes into first. A little bit of trouble in the second. Maybe I should put the clutch in. Maybe the car has to be running too. I don't know. No, that was second. So yeah, like I was saying, talking about the set screws. You want to do your first and second gear range first. So we'll go over to the left and up. That's your first. Now this shifter is a little bit hard to get used to because it has the stiff centering spring. So it actually will always kind of go back to center. So you have to learn. So when you're in first gear, you know, OEM shifters, you would just pull left and down into second. But this one's actually in center. So you actually have to pull left again and then into second. And then you can see it centers again. And then all you have to do is just push forward. That's third. And then, you know, fourth. And then up to the right is fifth. Now, I think the fifth and sixth range, sixth goes into fine. Fifth, it doesn't really like to go into fifth yet. So I might have to adjust the set screw, which is going to be this one right here. This is your reverse. This is your fifth and sixth range. This one over here is your 1-2 range. So I might loosen this up just a hair so it can go into the fifth, sixth range easier.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Alright, everyone. It's a few months after I made that last clip. I'm going to end the video off there as the car is in storage. But let me know if you guys want to see a build breakdown on how that car makes 800 horsepower. It's got some pretty cool parts on it, and maybe you guys can learn something from a build breakdown. So yeah, let me know. And yeah, we're going to call it there. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.